I dipped the fountain pen into the bottle of black ink and sat beside the desk to give myself a chance to think. The envelope is addressed to your apartment on the hill, where the air is always biting and the wind is always chill. I struggled with the opening, the greeting felt so cold, a stark contrast to stories that we previously told. My handwriting is shaky and the sentences are brief, a summary of modern love collapsing into grief. You always loved the structure of a handwritten note, the texture of the parchment and the poetry I wrote. But this is not a ballad filled with compliments and praise. It's a declaration of the end of all our golden days. I explain the exact moment when the magic disappeared, the quiet realization of the outcome that we feared. No arguments or screaming matches, just a steady decline, a mutual understanding that your path was distinct from mine. The postage stamp is fixed upon the corner of the page, a final validation of our exit from the stage. We are signing off the ledger, closing up the heavy book without a single hesitation or a backward look. These are the last letters that I will ever send to you, a final explanation of the things we couldn't do. The ink is drying slowly, but the meaning is so clear. We ran out of sentences to keep each other near. Yeah, we spelled out our goodbye in a beautiful design. I walked down to the postbox at the corner of the square. The midnight fog is thick enough to choke the heavy air. I hold the envelope above the metal opening slot, reviving every single word and every single thought. Once it drops inside the box, there is no turning back, no way to intercept the mail or alter up the track. It felt like dropping weights into a deep and dark abyss, a tragic conclusion to a love that started with a kiss. I imagine when you receive it on Tuesday afternoon, you slice the paper open with a silver butter spoon. Your eyes will scan the paragraphs I labored to construct, detailing how our paradise was suddenly destruct. Maybe a tear will fall and smudge the signature below, or maybe you'll be relieved to finally let it go. We carved our names in tree bark, but the wood began to rot, and this final correspondence is the only thing we got. The postage stamp is fixed upon the corner of the page, a final validation of our exit from the stage. We are signing off the ledger, closing up the heavy book without a single hesitation or a backward look. These are the last letters that I will ever send to you, a final explanation of the things we couldn't do. The ink is drying slowly, but the meaning is so clear. We ran out of sentences to keep each other near. Yeah, we spelled out our goodbye in a beautiful design. Be heard, fold it up, seal the bag, let the postman do the chore, because we are not communicating anymore. Dear love, goodbye. spelled out our goodbye in a beautiful design. Postage paid, memories fade, signed. Signed. The television screen is displaying the snowy white glare, while I am sitting frozen in the leather rocking chair. The broadcasting station went off the air at 3, leaving a frequency of pure white noise for me to see. I remember when our future was a high-definition view, vibrant and crystal clear when I was standing next to you. But the signal grew corrupted as the distance grew too wide, and the transmission failed from the emotional inside. I tried to tune the antenna to capture your frequency, but the feedback loop was brutal and it blinded me to see. The cathode ray tube is buzzing with a low electricity hum, a technological desert that has made my fingers numb. We used to share a vision of a cottage by the stream, but that imagery has dissolved into a highly static dream, a scrambled manifestation of a hope we couldn't save, buried underneath the mountain of a broken wireless wave. The reception is poor and the satellites are down. There is no communication traveling across this town. We are trying to connect through a rusted copper wire, but the voltage is insufficient to ignite the inner fire. We are trapped in static dreams, waking up to white noise, losing all the innocence of our youthful boys and joys. The channel is scrambled and the screen is getting gray, washing all the clarity of our old life away. Yeah, the signal is dead, just like the love we fed. I found an old cassette tape underneath the car seat floor, containing all the melodies that we don't hum anymore. The magnetic ribbon is tangled and the plastic casing cracked, a physical example of the loyalty we lacked. I forced it into the player, but the audio was distorted. Every happy memory was violently aborted by the hiss and the crackle of a tape that has decayed, just like the fragile promises that we previously made. The telecommunication tower on the summit of the hill is struck by winter lightning while the atmosphere is chill. The grid is shutting down and the indicators flash red, a systematic failure of the narrative we led. I dial our telephone number, but the operator says the circuit is busy with the ghost of yesterdays. There is no data traveling across the fiber optic cable to fix the broken pieces of our metaphorical table. The reception is poor and the satellites are down. There is no communication traveling across this town. We are trying to connect through a rusted copper wire, but the voltage is insufficient to ignite the inner fire. We are trapped in static dreams, waking up to white noise, losing all the innocence of our youthful boys and joys. The channel is scrambled and the screen is getting gray, washing all the clarity of our old life away. Yeah, the signal is dead, speaking to the unknown. The screen is going dark and the cathode tube explodes, ending all the journeys on our separate digital roads. The line is dead, nothing left ahead. The line is dead, nothing left ahead. Oh, we are trapped in static dreams, waking up to white noise, losing all the innocence of our youthful boys and joys. The channel is scrambled and the screen is getting gray, washing all the clarity of our old life away. Yeah, the signal is dead, just like the love we fit. Static noise, lost our voice, disconnect. You wear long sleeves even when the weather is warm, to hide the physical evidence of your internal storm. You don't like to talk about the history you carry, or the monsters in your childhood that were terrifyingly scary. I watch you navigate the kitchen with the cautious precision, like every single movement was a life-altering decision. You protect your vulnerabilities behind a high stone wall, terrified that if you stumble you will permanently fall. I have my own trauma buried deep in my chest, a heavy metal anchor that will never let me rest. From the time my father walked out on the family home, leaving us to navigate the wilderness alone. We are two damaged individuals trying to survive, using all our energy just to stay alive. But proximity is difficult when touch causes pain, and every conversation is an emotional strain. The bandages are dirty, but we refuse to look below at the deep lacerations that we never dare to show. We are treating our symptoms with a temporary band, too terrified of surgery to let a person understand. We are examining our hidden scars in the mirror today, wishing we could wash the history completely away. The tissue is healed, but the sensitivity remains, a silent ledger of our unacknowledged pains. Yeah, the surface looks smooth, but the damage is deep. You flinch when I try to brush the hair from your eyes, an involuntary reflex that you try to disguise as a casual gesture or a sneeze in the air. But I recognize the symptoms of a deep-seated despair. We are like soldiers returning from an undeclared war, who don't know what they are fighting for anymore. The weapons are put away, but the paranoia stays, governing the conduct of our ordinary days. I found a bottle of sedatives behind the vanity glass, a chemical assistance to make the long evenings pass. You take them in secrecy before you go to bed, to quiet all the arguments that occur inside your head. I don't judge your coping mechanisms, because I have my own. A bottle of whiskey that I consume when I am alone. We are self-medicating to survive the night, hoping that the morning will make everything right. The bandages are dirty, but we refuse to look below at the deep lacerations that we never dare to show. We are treating our symptoms with a temporary band, too terrified of surgery to let a person understand. We are examining our hidden scars in the mirror today, wishing we could wash the history completely away. The tissue is healed, but the sensitivity remains, surface looks smooth, but the damage is deep. There is no thunder or a lightning display, just a heavy gray canopy obscuring the day. The leaves on the maple trees are turning upside down, a silent alert to the citizens of this town. We sit in the parlor without turning on the lamp, as the air in the residence grows heavy and damp. You are folding your laundry with a meticulous care, ignoring the electrical tension in the air. A loud argument would be a welcome relief to break the momentum of this gathering grief. But we speak in low whispers like we are inside a church, while our emotional stability is left on a perch. The rain starts to fall, but it doesn't make a sound as it absorbs into the dry, unyielding ground. A stealthy disaster that is taking its time to erode the foundations of our youth sublime. The barometric pressure is crushing our chest, and the internal anxiety will not let us rest. We are waiting for the deluge to wash us away from the silent battlefield of this ordinary day. We are weathering a quiet storm inside this apartment tonight, fighting a battle without a visible light. The destruction is subtle, but the impact is deep, infiltrating the dreams that we have when we sleep. Yeah, the flooding is gradual, but the water is high. I watch a single droplet track down the window pane, a miniature river of the silent summer rain. It doesn't rattle the glass or make a dramatic scene, it just creates a barrier that settles between your side of the table and the sector I claim, as we silently assign the institutional blame for the slow expiration of the passion we fed without a single aggressive syllable being said. The carpet is soaking from the moisture below, where the hidden underground springs begin to overflow. The mold is accumulating behind the drywall sheets, a secret decay that the architecture meets. We pretend everything is structurally sound and secure, while we watch the deterioration that we have to endure. A silent catastrophe under a domestic roof, where the lack of communication is the ultimate proof. The barometric pressure is crushing our chest, and the internal anxiety will not let us rest. We are waiting for the deluge to wash us away from the silent battlefield of this ordinary day. We are weathering a quiet storm inside this apartment tonight, fighting a battle without a visible light. The destruction is subtle, but the impact is deep, infiltrating the dreams that we have when we sleep. Yeah, the flooding is gradual, but the water is high. Open the floodgates, let the torrents expand, drown the remains of this fabricated land. But the downpour is muffled and the energy is low, and the internal rivers are sluggish and slow. So we sit in the dampness as the ceilings cave in, absorbing the consequences of our quiet sin. Drip, drop, it won't stop. Submerge, submerge. We are weathering a quiet storm inside this apartment tonight, fighting a battle without a visible light. The destruction is subtle, but the impact Yeah, the flooding is gradual, but the water is high. Silent rain, drowning pain, drowning pain, deluge. An old album sits upon the dusty wooden shelf, a portrait of a boy who looks a bit like myself, beside a girl with the ribbons in her tangled golden hair, sitting on a blanket in the middle of the square. The colors have all shifted into shades of pale and gray, like chemical reactions washing memories away. I trace the silver outline of your unforgettable face, stuck inside a pocket of a long forgotten place. The Polaroid camera made a clicking sort of noise back when we were playing with our favorite childhood toys. We waited for the image to develop in the sun, counting all the seconds until everything was done. The chemical solution captured moments in a flash before our little kingdom came to crumble in a crash. Now look at how the edges are beginning to unglue, just like the connection that I shared along with you. The lens was cracked, but we could see the future pretty clear. We didn't know the definition of a sudden fear, but exposure to the sunlight makes the image disappear. Look at these faded photos hanging on the bedroom wall, reminding us of times before we learned how we could fall. The smiles are getting blurry and the background starts to bleed. We lost the very map that we so desperately need. Yeah, the pictures fade away, but the shadows always stay. I found another snapshot in the pocket of my coat, wrapped around a tiny and a handwritten short note. You said you would love me till the oceans all went dry, but oceans turned to deserts and the clouds deserted sky. The camera never lies, but it omits the painful part. It doesn't show the cracking of a heavy human heart. It only shows the laughter and the sunshine on the beach, while keeping all the misery far out of human reach. I try to remember what you said right before the click. The memory is playing like a cruel and wicked trick. The audio is missing, though the visual remains. A gallery of pleasure that is shielding all the pains. The chemical emotion is decaying on the sheet, while I am walking lonely down the suffocating street. If I could take another shot, I'd change the focal length to see if our relationship possessed a greater strength. The lens was cracked, but we could see the future pretty clear. We didn't know the definition of a sudden fear, but exposure to the sunlight makes the image disappear. Look at these faded photos hanging on the bedroom wall, reminding us of times before we learned how we could fall. The smiles are getting blurry and the background starts to bleed. We lost the very map that we so desperately need. Yeah, the pictures fade away, but the shadows always stay. script of your life and mine. Just a ghost in a frame. I barely know your name. Look at these faded photos hanging on the bedroom wall, reminding us of times before we learned how we could fall. The smiles are getting blurry and the background starts to bleed. We lost the very map that we so desperately need. Yeah, the pictures fade away, but the shadows always stay, fading out without a doubt. Click. I found a notebook in the attic space yesterday afternoon, buried under blankets from a distant, faded June. The pages were yellowed and the edges torn apart, filled with scribbled drawings of a fragile human heart. You used to fold the corners down to mark the things you said, before the heavy clouds of doubt collected in your head. We were young and foolish, chasing shadows in the lawn, never thinking for a second that the daylight would be gone. You took a sheet of lined paper and made a little wing, hoping that a simple piece of wood could learn to sing. We stood upon the rooftop where the wind was blowing high, ready to release our tiny glider to the sky. It drifted for a moment, then it tumbled to the ground, into the muddy puddle without making any sound. You looked at me with teary eyes and said it was a sign that everything we ever built would fall apart in time. The silence is so loud, it seems to terrify a mouse. We try to hold the memories before they turn to dust, but every silver lining is beginning now to rust. Oh, we were flying paper planes into the stormy night, hoping they would catch a breeze and somehow take a flight. But paper cannot handle when the rain begins to pour, and we don't write those stories on the pages anymore. No, we don't write those stories on the pages anymore. I kept that little glider in a shoebox by my bed, a reminder of the heavy words that we had left unsaid. The ink began to smudge until the letters disappeared, just like the happy future that we desperately feared. I see you in the supermarket walking down the aisle. You look away so quickly, but I noticed that you smile. A stranger with a history that matches up with mine, two parallel trajectories that never will align. The neighborhood is changing and they tore the rooftop down, where we believed that we could be the rulers of this town. The concrete replaces all the grass where we once ran, and time destroys the blueprints of our very finest plan. I wonder if you ever think about that windy day, or if you threw the notebook and the memories away. The gravity is pulling every dreamer to the floor, and we don't play those silly childish games here anymore. And now the wind is howling through the rafters of this house. The silence is so loud, it seems to terrify a mouse. We try to hold the memories before they turn to dust, but every silver line a flight. But paper cannot handle when the rain begins to pour. And we don't write those stories on the pages anymore. No, we don't write those stories on the pages anymore. Fold the edges carefully and throw it to the breeze. Watch it catch a sudden draft and tangle in the trees. We thought that we were pilots, but we didn't have a map. We fell into the middle of a beautiful dark trap. And you can try to fix the wings with tape and piece of thread, but you can never resurrect the words that we'd have said. It falls down, the paper always falls down. In the end, it's just a piece of paper on the ground. Oh, we were flying paper planes into the stormy night, hoping they would catch a breeze and somehow take a flight. But paper cannot handle when the rain begins to pour. And we don't write those stories on the pages anymore. No, we don't write those stories on the pages anymore. Just a paper plane in the pouring rain, gone, gone. I shouted out your name into the canyon deep and wide, hoping for an answer from the solitary side. But the landscape was indifferent to the misery I felt, and the frosty mountain ridges refused to ever melt. The sound of my own voice came bouncing back into my ear, a mockery of passion that was twisted by my fear. You left without a warning on a Tuesday afternoon, leaving a vacant apartment that was cleared out way too soon. The tiles in the bathroom multiply the dripping faucet sound, the water repercussion while I stare up on the ground. Every statement that we made inside this residential space is bouncing off the plaster without leaving any trace. We used to fill the structure with our arguments and cheers, but the frequency is altered over consecutive years. Now the vibration is a hollow and a terrifying thing, like a broken copper bell that has forgotten how to ring. We built a sanctuary out of promises and stone, but the structural integrity has left us both alone. The cavities are wide and the foundations are insecure, and there is no remedy that can make this love endure. We are chasing hollow echoes in an empty corridor, listening for the footsteps that don't walk here anymore. The words have lost their substance, but the noises staying loud. A ghostly congregation like a solitary crowd. Yeah, the resonance remains, reminding us of pains. I walked into the valley where we carved our monogram before the river flooded and destroyed the wooden dam. The gorge is full of boulders that have tumbled from the peak, crushing all the flowers that were delicate and weak. I spoke into the cavern just to test the acoustic grace, but the replication process was an absolute disgrace. It distorted all the meaning of the phrases that I chose, turning a confession into a parade of woes. The telephone is silent, but the static is alive. A technological reminder that our bond did not survive. I listened to old voicemails that you recorded on your device, when your tone was full of honey before it turned to ice. The digital compression makes your laughter sound so strange, a robotic variation that emphasizes the change. I disconnect the line because the feedback is too intense, an auditory punishment that defies all common sense. We build a sanctuary out of promises and stone, but the structural integrity has left us both alone. The cavities are wide and the foundations are insecure, and there is no remedy that can make this love endure. We are chasing hollow echoes in an empty corridor, listening for the footsteps that don't walk here anymore. The words have lost their substance, but the noises staying loud. A ghostly congregation like a solitary crowd. Yeah, the resonance remains, reminding us of pain. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Screaming louder, let it bounce against the granite wall. Watch the sonic wave expand before it starts to fall. You cannot fill a vacuum with a fabricated shout. You cannot light a fire when the oxygen is out. The acoustic properties of this relationship are dead, and I am drowning in the feedback of the things you said. Hello? Is anyone there? No. We are chasing hollow echoes in an empty corridor, listening for the footsteps that don't walk here anymore. The words have lost their substance, but the noises staying loud. A ghostly congregation like a solitary crowd. Yeah, the resonance remains, reminding us of pain. Echoes fade, debts unpaid. Silence. I walk along the perimeter of the industrial district zone, underneath the orange sodium lamps, entirely alone. The asphalt is shimmering from the recent autumn shower, and the municipal clock tower strikes the midnight hour. I pass the storefronts with their iron grills pulled down tight, a bleak urban landscape in the middle of the night. I remember when we strolled here holding hands in the spring, before our affection became a completely disposable thing. The alleyways are cluttered with debris and discarded crates, a geographical reflection of our unfortunate separate fates. I see my breath condensing in the chilly morning air as I search for your shadow in the public market square. But the citizens are strangers with their collars pulled up high, averting their gazes as they hurry quickly by. We used to own this neighborhood, we knew every single lane, but now it's just a maze that is amplifying my pain. The city planning commission didn't design this grid for love, and the smoke is accumulating in the sky Metropolitan pavement is a cold place to sleep. I found a graffiti drawing on the brick warehouse wall that we painted together right before the final fall. The spray paint is flaking and the colors are obscure, a visual reminder of a bomb that couldn't endure. A police cruiser passes with its siren flashing blue, an intrusive interruption to my memories of you. I turned down a side street to avoid the flashing light, disappearing further into the shadows of the night. The subway station entrance is a gaping concrete mall, sucking in the workers under the municipal law. I look down the staircase, but I cannot find the strength to traverse the underground system for its total linear length. I prefer the surface even if the wind is biting cold, because the subterranean tunnels make me feel incredibly old. I am a pedestrian without a destination or a home, condemned for eternity through these outer sectors to roam. The City Planning Commission didn't design this grid for love, and the smoke is accumulating in the sky up above. We are navigating avenues that have forgotten our name, and the environment around us will never feel the same. We are wandering these lonely streets under a foggy sky, searching for the reasons why our connection had to die. The concrete is unforgiving and the avenues are wide, leaving no location where our broken hearts can hide. Yeah, the metropolitan pavement is a cold place to sleep. Cross the intersection, ignore the pedestrian sign. Do something to bridge the gap between your world and mine. But the traffic is relentless and the engines are too loud, and your figure is swallowed by the rushing morning crowd. So I stand on the curb while the city rushes past, realizing that the isolation is permanent at last. Walk, don't walk, talk. No more talk, no more talk. Lost, we are wandering these lonely streets under a foggy sky, searching for the reasons why our connection had to die. The concrete is unforgiving and the avenues are wide, leaving no location where our broken hearts can hide. Yeah, the metropolitan pavement is a cold place to sleep. Dark lanes, urban pains, gone. You wear long sleeves even when the weather is warm, to hide the physical evidence of your internal storm. You don't like to talk about the history you carry, or the monsters in your childhood that were terrifyingly scary. I watch you navigate the kitchen with a cautious precision, like every single movement was a life-altering decision. You protect your vulnerabilities behind a high stone wall, terrified that if you stumble you will permanently fall. I have my own trauma buried deep in my chest, a heavy metal anchor that will never let me rest. From the time my father walked out on the family home, leaving us to navigate the wilderness alone. We are two damaged individuals trying to survive, using all our energy just to stay alive. But proximity is difficult when touch causes pain, and every conversation is an emotional strain. The bandages are dirty, but we refuse to look below at the deep lacerations that we never dare to show. We are treating our symptoms understand. We are examining our hidden scars in the mirror today, wishing we could wash the history completely away. The tissue is healed, but the sensitivity remains a silent ledger of our unacknowledged pains. Yeah, the surface looks smooth, but the damage is deep. You flinch when I try to brush the hair from your eyes, an involuntary reflex that you try to disguise as a casual gesture or a sneeze in the air. But I recognize the symptoms of a deep-seated despair. We are like soldiers returning from an undeclared war, who don't know what they are fighting for anymore. The weapons are put away, but the paranoia stays, governing the conduct of our ordinary days. I found a bottle of sedatives behind the vanity glass, a chemical assistance to make the long evenings pass. You take them in secrecy before you go to bed, to quiet all the arguments that occur inside your head. I don't judge open mechanisms because I have my own, a bottle of whiskey that I consume when I am alone. We are self-medicating to survive the night, hoping that the morning will make everything right. The bandages are dirty, but we refuse to look below at the deep lacerations that we never dare to show. We are treating our symptoms with a temporary band, too terrified of surgery to let a person understand. We are examining our hidden scars in the mirror today, wishing we could wash the history completely away. The tissue is healed, but the sensitivity remains a silent ledger of our unacknowledged pains. Yeah, the surface looks smooth, but the damage is deep. And there is no guarantee that honesty will cure. So we put our armor back on and adjust the disguise, hiding our histories from each other's prying eyes. Don't touch too much. Hey, we are examining our hidden scars in the mirror today, wishing we could wash the history completely away. The tissue is healed, but the sensitivity remains a silent ledger of our unacknowledged pains. Yeah, the surface looks smooth, but the damage is deep. Cover it up, fill the cup, heal. The holy carpet dampens every footstep that I take. I listen for a sound to prove that I am still awake. The grandfather clock is ticking, but the pendulum is slow, a steady rhythmic pulse that watches hours come and go. Your winter coat is missing from the hook behind the door, and dust is settling softly on the hardwood parlor floor. I remember how your laughter used to bounce against the wall before the shadow of the winter came to change it all. A sit upon the mattress in the corner of space and try to reconstruct the faint expression on your face. The window pane is frosted with a delicate design, an icy barrier between your world and mine. There are no echoes traveling across the empty hall, just heavy drapes that smother every whisper, large or small. We used to talk until the morning sun began to rise, but now the stillness is a blanket covering our eyes. The furniture is covered up in sheets of ghostly white, a graveyard of conversations buried in the night. We spent our energy on building walls instead of bridges here, until the noise of loneliness was all that we could hear. Now we are living in these silent rooms, trapped inside our minds, searching for a trace of love that neither of us finds. The architecture of our youth is crumbling to stone. We share a roof, but technically we are completely alone. Yeah, the silence is a weapon that is cutting to the bone. I found a coffee mug you left upon the kitchen countertop, the dark stains at the bottom where the liquid had to stop. A physical reminder of a morning routine shared before we reached the point where neither person really cared. The refrigerator hums a low and melancholy tune beneath the silver glare of a July afternoon. I touch the handle gently, but I do not open wide. There's nothing left to nourish the starvation deep inside. The neighbors think we moved away because there is no light illuminating windows in the middle of the night. We sit in darkness saving on the electricity bill, as if a cheaper lifestyle could cure a mental ill. The floorboards do not creak because we walk so very light, like thieves inside a museum, escaping from the side. We perfected the behavior of a pair of quiet ghosts, destroying everything that we previously loved the most. The furniture is covered up in sheets of ghostly white, a graveyard of conversations buried in the night. We spent our energy on building walls instead of bridges here, until the noise of loneliness was all that we could hear. Now we are living in these silent rooms, trapped inside our minds, searching for a trace of love that neither of us finds. The architecture of our youth is crumbling to stone. We share a roof, but technically we are completely alone. Yeah, the silence is a weapon that is cutting to the bone. Crush us as we fall, but you just stare ahead into the middle of the air with a paralyzed expression of a thorough deep despair. Shh, listen close. It's the sound of nothing left. Now we are living in these silent rooms, trapped inside our minds, searching for a trace of love that neither of us finds. The architecture of our youth is crumbling to stone. We share a roof, but technically we are completely alone. Yeah, the silence is a weapon that is cutting to the bone. Just a silent room, a quiet tune, hush. thermometer plummeted below the 0 mark. When we were walking slowly through the residential park, we zipped our heavy parkas up against the northern breeze, watching our breath crystallize above the frozen trees. The wool was a barrier that kept the warmth inside, but also served to complicate the feelings we would hide. We looked like two astronauts exploring outer space, insulated completely from each other's embrace. You wore a thick scarf that covered up your chin, preventing any syllables from escaping within. The buttons were massive and the fabric was so dense, a textile variation of a defensive picket fence. We held hands through our mittens, but we couldn't feel the skin. An artificial contact where no passion could begin. The winter was an excuse to keep our distance justified, while the true emotional frostbite was happening inside. The blizzard is howling and the icicles are pet, a frozen termination to a relationship we can't defend. We are wrapped in layers of defensive insulation here, too terrified of vulnerability to let each other near. We are hiding in our winter coats, shivering in the snow, waiting for a springtime that we will never know. Yeah, the garments protect us, but they keep us apart. I see a heavy overcoat hanging in the hall, a dark silhouette against the wallpapered wall. The pockets are filled with lint and ticket stubs from plays we attended together during our warmer days. I touch the collar gently, but the texture makes me shudder, a woolen reminder of the words we didn't utter. We thought that the protection would endure until July, but summer never happens when the spirits choose to die. The radiator clanks inside the living room tonight, but it cannot alleviate the chill within our sight. We sit across the table with our heavy sweaters on, a pair of Arctic explorers whose compasses are gone. The frost is accumulating on the inside of the pain, a meteorological metaphor of our internal pain. If we took off the garments, we might perish from the cold, so we keep ourselves encased in the fibers of old. The blizzard is howling and the icicles are pet, a frozen termination to our relationship we can't defend. We are wrapped in layers of defensive insulation here, too terrified of vulnerability to let each other near. We are hiding in our winter coats, shivering in the snow, waiting for a springtime that we will never know. The padding is thick, but our hearts are freezing cold, trapped inside the stories that we never fully told. Yeah, the garments protect us, but they keep us apart. Cast the scarf into the drift, do something to accelerate the continental shift. But your fingers are too numb to manipulate the clasp, and my hands are shaking far beyond my normal grasp. So we stay encapsulated in our customized cocoons, underneath the glare of freezing winter moons. So cold, too deep. Go to sleep. We are hiding in our winter coats, shivering in the snow, waiting for a springtime that we will never know. The padding is thick, but our hearts are freezing cold, trapped inside the stories that we never fully told. Yeah, the garments protect us, but they keep us apart. Heavy wool, empty soul, freeze. I tasted the dark marmalade you left upon the plate, a flavor profile that matches our contemporary state. A little bit of sugary sweetness at the very start, followed by an astringent bite that punctures the heart. We cultivated a recipe that was complex and refined, blending the ingredients that our personalities aligned. But the ratio was faulty and the mixture turned sour, leaving an unpleasant aftertaste at this final hour. I remember the honeymoon phase in the orchard by the farm, when every single syllable possessed a therapeutic charm. We picked fresh strawberries from the bushes in the field, savoring the bounty that the fertile soil would yield. But the seasons rotated and the frost came too soon, blackening the vegetation under an October moon. Now the fruit is fermenting in the wooden storage bin, a toxic transformation that is occurring from within. The culinary experts cannot fix this broken stew, and there is no condiment that can make the flavor new. We are consuming the remnants of a beautiful mistake, numbing our palates for our mental sanity's sake. We are swallowing this bittersweet memory tonight, trying to convince ourselves that everything is right. Insane. Yeah, the medicine is harsh, but the sickness was deep. I found a dark chocolate bar in the pocket of your vest, a confectionery treat that you had previously suppressed. I broke off the square and let it dissolve on my tongue, recalling the melodies that we previously sung. It was 80% cacao, intense and severe, an accurate reflection of the atmosphere. We don't do simple sugar or cheap artificial treats, we prefer the complexity of these emotional defeats. The coffee machine is dripping in the pantry alcove now, as I prepare a beverage to make my final bow. I don't add any cream or the white granulated crystals. We are treating our farewell like the fire in the pistols, just a black boiling liquid that is scorching to the throat, a fitting accompaniment to the final note I wrote. We drink to our history and the damage we sustain, savoring the agony that permanently remained. The culinary experts cannot fix this broken stew, and there is no condiment that can make the flavor new. We are consuming the remnants of a beautiful mistake, numbing our palates for our mental sanity's sake. We are swallowing this bittersweet memory tonight, trying to convince ourselves that everything is right. The contrast is brutal and the pleasure brings us pain, a confusing combination that is driving us insane. Yeah, the medicine is harsh, but the sickness was deep. Oh, separate the sugar from the gall when you choose to consume it all. Tonic, syrup, pour it out, pour it out. The end. Oh, we are swallowing this bittersweet memory tonight, trying to convince ourselves that everything is right. The contrast is brutal, and the pleasure brings us pain. A confusing combination that is driving us insane. Yeah, the medicine is harsh, but the sickness was deep. Sharp tang, door bang, acrid. The television screen is displaying a snowy white glare, while I'm sitting frozen in the leather rocking chair. The broadcasting station went off the air at 3, leaving a frequency of pure white noise for me to see. I remember when our future was a high-definition view, vibrant and crystal clear when I was standing next to you. But the signal grew corrupted as the distance grew too wide, and the transmission failed from the emotional inside. I tried to tune the antenna to capture your frequency, but the feedback loop was brutal, and it blinded me to see. The cathode ray tube is buzzing with a low electricity hum, a technological desert that has made my fingers numb. We used to share a vision of a cottage by the stream, but that imagery has dissolved into a highly static dream, a scrambled manifestation of a hope we couldn't save, buried underneath the mountain of a broken wireless wave. The reception is poor and the satellites are down. There is no communication traveling across this town. We are trying to connect through a rusted copper wire, but the voltage is insufficient to ignite the inner fire. We are trapped in static dreams, waking up to white noise, losing all the innocence of our youthful boys and joys. The channel is scrambled and the screen is getting gray, washing all the clarity of our own life away. Yeah, the signal is dead, just like the love we fed. I found an old cassette tape underneath the car seat floor, containing all the melodies that we don't hum anymore. The magnetic ribbon is tangled in the plastic casing cracked, a physical example of the loyalty we lacked. I forced it into the player, but the audio was distorted. Every happy memory was violently aborted by the hiss and the crackle of a tape that has decayed, just like the fragile promises that we previously made. The telecommunication tower on the summit of the hill is struck by winter lightning while the atmosphere is chill. The grid is shutting down and the indicators flash red, a systematic failure of the narrative we let. I dial your telephone number, but the operator says the circuit is busy with the ghost of yesterdays. There is no data traveling across the fiber optic cable to fix the broken pieces of our metaphorical table. The reception is poor and the satellites are down. There is no communication traveling across this town. We are trying to connect through a rusted copper wire, but the voltage is insufficient to ignite the inner fire. We are trapped in static dreams, waking up to white noise, losing all the innocence of our youthful boys and joys. The channel is scrambled and the screen is getting gray, washing all the clarity of our own life away. Yeah, the signal is dead, just like the love we fed. like the love we fed. Static noise, lost our poise, disconnected.